Hey guys, Will here with Nightmare Paranormal, and tonight we will be learning about the history and the mystery that surrounds the Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina. And then later, we're actually going to go do an investigation in the Pisgah National Forest to see if we can see the lights for ourselves. The Brown Mountain Lights, as seen here, tend to resemble either balls of fire or streaks of lightning that kind of hover just above the mountain and just above the trees. This phenomenon goes back as far as 1913 recorded, but I believe it actually traces its roots much further. You see, Linville Gorge is about 30 square miles of wilderness out in the woods in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. The Cherokee Indians settled there, and some of the stories that they had was what could be described as like skinwalkers and other creatures wandering around in those woods. The woods around Brown Mountain are haunted. So here are just a couple of folklore legends around the area that the locals kind of talk about. The first is from the 1800s in regards to this woman named Adelaide. Adelaide found her husband cheating on her, and she got into a heated exchange with her husband. So he took Adelaide out into Linville Gorge and murdered her, taking her head off and burying the body. Shortly after, there were disappearances of hunters who were never found in those woods. Legend says that those hunters came across the ghost of Adelaide deep in the woods at night. Imagine, it's dark, you're all alone in the woods, and through the tree line, you see this woman in a white dress come walking towards you. She walks past or through you if you are a man with good heart. But if you possess an evil heart, then she steals your head off. Another story also from the 1800s is a pioneer and his family and his slave who go out to Linville Gorge. And the pioneer decides to go hunting for a few days in the gorge, and after a week doesn't return home. So the slave takes a rifle and a lantern to go after him, when he too disappears into the woods. Now, at night, it is said that the ghost lights in Brown Mountain are that of the slave holding his lantern, still looking for his master to this day. And a bit of a romantic story is that during the Revolutionary War, a young man is called upon to join the army to fight. He tells his bride that he will be posted just up on the mountain, and so at night he will flash his lantern so that she knows he is safe, and she would also flash her lantern. This went on for about a week when the soldier's lantern stopped flashing. Days went by, and no word of what happened to her beloved ever reached her ears. So, until her death, even after, she still continues to flash her lantern for her love. Now, the first recorded account of the Brown Mountain Lights is from September 24th, 1913. This comes from the Charlotte Daily Observer. It described mysterious lights seen just above the horizon every night, red in color, appearing punctually at 7:30 p.m. and again at 10 p.m., attributing the information to Anderson Levin, an old and reliable resident. Coincidentally, Jules Verne, the guy that wrote Journey to the Center of the Earth and Around the World in 80 Days, in 1911, he actually wrote a book called Master of the World, in which there's a mad scientist who is operating at a Table Rock, builds like this airship, and there's like streets of lights that come out of the mountain. And then all of a sudden, the locals in the area began to report sightings of lights. Don't know if it's related, but just something that was kind of weird in doing the research for this episode. And so in 1913, the U.S. Geological Survey sent someone out to go actually investigate the Brown Mountain Lights. And what he found was that it was actually just the light of the train as it was going through the mountain. Well, the locals didn't like that very much because clearly these lights don't look like train lights, like they're lights floating above the trees. And so in 1922, the USGS sent out another surveyor, believe his name was Mansfield, goes out and he stays for 2 weeks. He watches the phenomenon. He even has a local come with him, the Levin guy, and they watch the lights for a few nights, and he comes to the conclusion that it's actually lights from the railroad, lights from cars, lights from the town, as well as the lights from campfires. Now, again, I don't believe in any of that. These lights do not respond like how lights from cars or trains would. I could see how when you're standing up there, you can see the lights out in the woods, sure, but not lights that are like dancing above and around the tree line as described. So according to the US government, essentially the Brown Mountain Lights, all they are is just lights from trains and cars and the townsfolk just going crazy. And people just seeing stuff at night. There are, of course, other explanations. One of them being swamp gas, because basically swamp gas, as the air leaves the swamp or the gas bubbles leave the swamp and go up, they do tend to ignite sometimes. But even then, that would be like a quick fireball that would come up and then it would be gone. When they looked at the rocks and the sediments and the soil around the area, there's nothing that would be conducive to it actually creating swamp gas. The other thing would be St. Elmo's fire. Essentially what that would be is sort of like lightning fire, but that's got to be very specific conditions, and usually it's around a thunderstorm or lightning storm, which you can kind of tell the difference between that as well. And then of course the last explanation is aliens. It's always aliens. So I drove 10 hours to Wisemans View and Pisgah National Forest to investigate the Brown Mountain Lights myself. So come along with me, and at the end of this portion of the video, we will go over the evidence at the end. So I am just laying everything out here in front of you, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so I am here at Pisgah National Park. I am getting ready to head up the trail. This is a 4-mile road getting up here. I have to walk the last quarter mile. It is pitch black out here. Without this light, I literally cannot see 2 feet in front of me. I have to walk about a quarter mile that way because the road is just so treacherous. But we're gonna head over there and see if we can see Brown Mountain ghost lights. Jesus. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have driven through this. Glad I parked where I did. Hello? I feel like I'm being watched. I don't like this very much. I don't think this is wheelchair accessible. Not here. You just push them down. Good Lord. Now watch me fall and bust my ass. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Watch your step. That That is a drop if you fall. Holy cow. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. There's something moving down there. So here I am at Wisemans View. This is so beautiful. This place is so cool. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, so according to legend, you can't see it right now because it's so dark, but right behind me are a couple of mountain peaks. We're expecting to see the lights coming up from the valley, heading up. Coming up from the valley, heading through the thing. Let me put this on a tripod. Testing, testing, testing. Alright, you probably can't see it, but like, there it is. Right there. Let me get it back again. Oh, it's gone. It's like just underneath the mountain now. Damn it. It was like on the other side of the mountain though. You can see it in the very beginning of the video, but it was like, whatever it was, came up underneath that armpit of the mountain. But it was like on the other side of the mountain though. It was moving across and then it stopped. And then it zipped a little bit more, stopped, and then just went down. That was pretty cool. I wish it was on this side of the mountain though. But that was neat. Alright, so it's been a little while. I've been sitting here at the mountain, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing an EVP session. I got my voice recorder that I'm going to go ahead and turn on now. I'm going to set this down right over here. And I've got my EMF detector, and yeah, we'll see if we can get any spirit voices. Alrighty. Well, my name is Will. Is anyone here with me? Alright, I'm gonna go set the camera down over here. Recorder right here, and K2 meter, set it down right here. Alright, so my name is Will, and I am out here right now to see the Brown Mountain lights. So legend has it is that a light will come up from the valley down here, go up the mountain, and then come back down. Can you tell me anything about the lights? You know anything about them? My name is Will. What is your name? Have you ever heard the legend of Adelaide? There's a woman who was brought out here and killed by her husband, and now she steals away men that come out into these woods, kills them. Only the bad ones though. So am I a bad one or am I a good one? about to do something that's pretty dangerous, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. I invite any spirits in this area to come up here and talk to me now. This box right here, you can talk into it and I can hear you. Now is your chance to tell your story. Now is your chance for someone to be able to hear you. Go ahead, test it out. Who is here with me right now? Am I safe out here? All alone? Who is doing these lights? Where do they come from? You know, if it's difficult for you to talk, would you do me a favor? Touch this light right here. Can you touch this green light? Make it light up. If you touch it, it'll light up. Can you do that for me? It's okay if you can't. What tribe are you with? Are you not with the tribe at all? Are you a settler, patriot, pioneer, homesteader? What are you? Are you even human? Are you a spirit? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Thank you for your time. All right, time to pack up. I've been out here for a couple of hours now. I actually saw the light. It was right over there. That was so cool. All right, well, we'll review this footage, head back to the car, get warmed up. These hand warmers are running out at this point. And I'm gonna find a place to park and take a nap and then head on out. Thanks for watching. So that is the trip that I took up to Wisemans View. It was incredibly cold. The road was very treacherous driving up. I highly recommend that if anyone goes up to Wisemans View, which I highly suggest it, it is a beautiful, beautiful view. But you have to have some sort of four-wheel drive. Your car has to be raised up. I drove a Camry. I got up there, but I did have to walk the last little stretch of it. So do be careful if you go up there. Now, let's go over the evidence. So when I first got there, I set up my camera and I'm filming like the planes and stuff that are going over. I could see a lot of shooting stars going across. I saw campfires out in the woods. I could see like the occasional car light on the side of the mountain or some kind of lights like on the mountain. You could tell which ones were artificial because they would be very brief. It would be a little flash and then that was it. So I'm sitting there just looking for what was probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And finally I look over to my left and I see the mountain. I see a plane, and the plane, you can clearly tell that it was a plane because it was flashing red light as it's going, but you also had the main light of the plane moving. But the plane was moving slow. It was moving slow, gradual, at a predictable pace. This other light, though, I'm watching because I only have but so much camera battery, so I don't want to film every single light that I saw, and it was just me. I see this light come out, and for a moment, I'm just kind of watching it because I could see what the plane looked like. That was very obvious. But this other light, it literally looked like a ball of fire coming out from the side of the mountain. And I'm just looking at it like I'm mesmerized by it. I was actually shocked. I was like, what am I looking at? I'm trying to look at it, trying to figure it out. It was reddish yellow. That was the best way that I could describe it. But it's coming out and then it shoots real fast and then it stops and it like gradually like moves up and down in like a section and then it moves again. It's almost like it was being carried by the wind, essentially. Like it was a ball of fire being carried by the wind. And then finally, when I started filming, I picked it up and the camera wasn't focusing. But in this little clip that I'm getting ready to show you, you can see it just above the tree line, and that's where it stayed. It stayed just above the tree line, but I got a little upset because the flame itself was on the other side of the trees and the other side of the mountain, so I couldn't see it once it went underneath. But man, it was cool. It was really cool seeing that. It was cool seeing the Brown Mountain Light on my first trip, and within like 2 hours of being there. Of course, you know, with this footage, it was black and white, so I did have to edit a little bit to make it green so it stands out a bit more. But I hope that you can clearly tell the plane that's above it at the top right compared to the orb that is below it just above the tree line. So aside from the Brown Mountain Light that I saw, also did not pick this up on the voice recorder. But what I'm going to show you is the clip from when I'm moving the camera from the stairs and I put it on the ledge. So once I set the camera down, you hear someone else's voice that says, "There is nothing." I don't know what the voice could be talking about, whether it's, you know, me being there looking for something. The question that I had asked before you hear that voice was, is there anyone else here with me, or what is your name? And then you get there is nothing. So I don't know what that spirit was trying to say. I can't really say for myself. So I'm going to kind of let you guys make your own assumptions on what you think that means. But overall, guys, I want to get your thoughts on this video. I want to hear what you think about the Brown Mountain Lights. I'm getting back to making these videos again. I do want to give a quick shout out to my mom. She passed away back in September. This is actually the first video that I am working on since mom passed away. And she was my biggest fan. My mom would watch all of my videos, and she was usually the first one that would get to see them. Whenever I would get done editing, I would let mom watch it, and she was very happy to see me do these kinds of investigations. And so when she passed away, And of course, Dad passed away 2 years ago now. Um, this was the first investigation that I did. It was something that I felt that I needed to do. Um, I hadn't done YouTube or investigations in quite a while. And so this is for you, Mom. My dad, his family is from the mountains in North Carolina. And I remember he was the first person that ever told me about the Brown Mountain Lights. And I really wish that he could see this video as well. But I know that both of them were there with me when I went. So yeah, I miss you, Mom and Dad. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. Yeah. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about the investigation. Some of your thoughts, and if you've ever seen the Brown Mountain Lights. So thank you for watching, and remember, guys, sleep well.